The story of London is inseparable from the story of its river, the Thames. For centuries, this wide, powerful body of water has been the city's lifeblood. It was a highway for trade, it was a source of sustenance, but it was also a great barrier. On one side, the growing settlement of Londinium was taking shape, founded by the Romans. On the other side lay the rest of southern Britain. To connect these two halves, a crossing was essential, to allow armies to pass, to allow merchants to pass, to allow common folk to pass. Without a bridge, the city would remain isolated, its growth stunted and its strategic importance diminished. The river demanded a solution. The Romans were the first to truly tackle this immense challenge. They were master engineers, known for their roads, known for their aqueducts that spanned their vast empire. In the damp, marshy lands of Britain, they saw the necessity of a permanent crossing. A simple ferry was not enough for the legions. They needed a reliable, sturdy structure that could withstand the powerful tides of the Thames. This need was about control. The first bridges built by the Romans were marvels of timber construction. They were likely pontoon bridges at first, temporary structures on floating platforms, allowing legions to cross quickly. But soon, a more permanent solution was needed. The Romans drove massive wooden piles, great sharpened tree trunks, deep into the riverbed. It was back-breaking work with rudimentary tools and immense effort. The piles formed the foundation, the sturdy legs for the whole structure. Across the tops of these piers, they laid thick timber planks, making a flat, stable walkway above the waters, not wide by modern standards, but wide enough for carts and for marching soldiers. For the first time, a reliable link spanned the lower Thames. These wooden bridges served London for centuries, yet they were vulnerable. Fire, river currents, occasional floods, all took their toll, requiring constant, costly repairs. In 1014 the bridge was pulled down by the Norwegian prince Olaf to split the Danish defenders. Rebuilding followed, but the cycle was costly. They dreamed of a bridge of stone. The call for a permanent stone bridge was answered by Peter, a priest and architect from St. Mary Colechurch. In 1176, with the backing of King Henry II, he embarked on an ambitious construction. His vision was a stone structure to stand for centuries, a testament to God and ingenuity, a project of immense scale and complexity. Peter's design was revolutionary: 19 pointed arches, of varying spans, on massive piers. These piers were the key to longevity. Building in a fast-flowing tidal river was the greatest challenge. Peter and his team, masons. Peter and his team, laborers. They created solid foundations on an unstable riverbed. It pushed medieval technology and demanded perseverance. Funded by a tax on wool and on sheepskins. It took 33 years, 1176 to 1209. Peter did not live to see it finished. He died in 1205, said to be entombed at the bridge's center. Other craftsmen carried his vision to completion. A bustling street, a defense, and a place of worship. Breathtaking. The first and most critical step was creating a stable foundation in the river. Builders used clever structures called starlings. They drove hundreds of wooden piles deep into the mud of the riverbed, forming a large, protective, oval-shaped enclosure. It was difficult work from barges, using heavy, manually operated pile drivers. These rings acted as breakwaters, creating a pocket of calmer water. Then they filled the enclosure with rubble and stone, making an artificial island, the starling. It provided a stable platform for the masons. They used huge, rough-hewn blocks, carefully cut and shaped and cemented with strong lime mortar. Blocks were lowered with basic cranes and levers, requiring great strength and precision. The piers rose slowly, stone by stone. With adjacent piers complete, the arch could span between them. They built a wooden framework called centering, shaped exactly to the arch. Voussoirs were laid from both sides toward the center. Old London Bridge was not just a crossing, it was a living part of the city. Houses and shops rose upon it, some 7 stories high, a crowded street over water. It created a unique environment, and a terrible fire hazard. At the southern end stood Southwark Gate. For over 300 years, it displayed the heads of executed traitors, dipped in tar and set on spikes. The bridge stood for over 600 years. By the late 18th century, its time was over. Narrow arches obstructed boats, and maintenance was costly. It was ill-suited to growing road traffic. A new bridge was needed. Between 1824 and 1831, John Rennie built an elegant stone bridge just upstream, 5 wide arches. For a short while, the old and the new stood side by side. Then the house-covered medieval bridge was demolished. Rennie's Bridge served for over a century. By the 1960s it was discovered to be sinking into the Thames mud. It could not bear modern traffic. In an extraordinary move, it was put up for sale. It was bought by Robert P. McCulloch, dismantled stone by stone, numbered, shipped across the Atlantic, and reassembled at Lake Havasu City. Today it stands there as a surprising attraction,